I was shocked to hear from children who are in public school in different areas, the level of anti-Semitism that these kids are experiencing, which is shocking and disturbing. Here's a beautiful reading from a Jewish boy in Canada expressing what he experiences in school, which is not much different than what I've heard from children here in the United States. And when you hear it from a child, it has a certain ring to it. It's much more emotional, and it's very wise that they had this boy read this letter. Here, you got to hear this.
I am proudly Jewish. My entire ancestry descends from Eastern Europe, where my family had to flee because they were Jewish. They came here for a better life, and within each generation since, we have had to deal with anti-Semitism. Last year, I traveled to Lithuania with my grandparents, parents, and siblings to visit the village where my grandmother's family came from that had been a thriving Jewish community. It was heartbreaking to stand next to the mass grave of Jews who had been brutally murdered during the Holocaust. During my 5 years at CH Best, I have been targeted and marginalized by anti-Semitism. Here is a short and incomplete list of some of my experiences. On multiple occasions, people have thrown money at me and said, "Go get it, Jew." I have had other students give me the Hitler salute. I've been sent Holocaust-denying memes on Snapchat. I was told, "You should have been gassed with your ancestors, Jew, and free Palestine, kill Israel." There are 2 staff members at my school who since October 7th have worn keffiyehs. They have also worn hateful shirts that have the map of Israel with a watermelon, also known as the Palestinian flag colors, superimposed on them. They had artwork on their doors in red, green, and black with pro-Hamas propaganda on them. I thought that schools were supposed to be politically neutral and safe for everyone. Another staff member at school told me that while Hamas represents something negative for me, other students could see Hamas as liberators and freedom fighters. I remind you all that Hamas has been listed here in Canada as a terrorist organization since 2002. I've had nightmares of specific students and teachers trying to break into my home and kidnap me. We have spent so much valuable time in school studying many different forms of racism. I personally have benefited so much from this education. I have patiently waited to see how anti-Semitism would be approached, and yet there has been no time devoted to it. Ultimately, I do not feel part of the school community as a student or as a Jew. I will not be attending my graduation trip.
Can you hear that? He's not going to be attending his graduating trip or his graduation because of the hate that he feels from fellow students. This is a culture that the state is then promoting of hate against Jews. That's what happens when a public school becomes this environment, and the school doesn't have the basic decency to say that nothing expressing anything about Hamas is permitted, nothing expressing anything against Jews is permitted, and that anyone that expresses this, whether it's through the Snapchat from one student to another, that and there's evidence of, there must be repercussions. This is absolutely unacceptable, and this is destruction of society, because when we permit hate, it starts with the Jews, but it goes a lot further until things start to deteriorate significantly.